now what does that mean? What that means is, for anyone else, what that means is like, if you were to isolate this particular case and say, yes, because of the evidence that's there, I mean, the jury couldn't convict, right? I mean, so yeah, you're like, well, I mean, what do you want me to say? It's open and shut. They couldn't convict it. Like, that's how, innocent until proven guilty. You have the burden of proof, right? Couldn't prove the guy guilty, right? But a systematic issue would say, well, that's one case in a long line of hundreds of cases. You know what I'm saying? Where it seems like every one of these one cases, you know what I'm trying to say? Right? Seems like it just don't ever work out for that person. Especially when, I don't know if y'all know, a month before, the lady that got 20 years, y'all know about that? Sisterhood got 20 years. She shot a gun in the air to stop her husband from beating her, right? Shot a gun in the air. Do you know the jury deliberated for 12 minutes? 12 minutes. Guilty. You understand what I'm trying to say? So when you're talking about systematic, they going, hold up. It'd be different if you were applying this law equally. You understand what I'm trying to say? Right? So that becomes a separate issue. So is the system itself just? Right? So that's one X over here. Now give me another one. Give me another box.
I think one of the issues in unpacking this, Caucasians, by and large, do not tend to think of themselves as existing in a sphere. They almost don't believe in spheres. So you try and talk about that to a lot of Caucasians.
I know.
Yeah, I know. But you talk to that about a lot of white evangelicals.
Don't coexist. I'm teasing you, but you are absolutely correct. That's why I started there.
Yeah.
That's why I started there, and why I think that's why I was like, I think it's easier for African Americans, because I feel like we come with that culturally. So that for me, the jump into the body and understanding that I'm part of a bigger circle that wasn't a hard concept for me. You know what I'm saying? But I'm coming to find out that concept is a little more difficult if you don't have the historical reference for it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's a good issue. So if you don't identify with the, because nobody stood up and cheered when Bill Clinton or George Bush became presidents. Like, hey, yeah, neither one of us became president. Like, what? Nobody did that. Y'all was like, not my president. You know what I'm saying? Like, dang, just gonna disown homie? You know what I'm saying? Right? You know what I'm saying? Right? When Larry Bird scored 30 points, yes! It's like, what? But we had Lynn Sanity though, right? We had an Asian dude join the NBA. We was like, yeah! Right? Why are you guys so excited? Okay. So that's very important. It's very important, and I think it's very important for minorities to understand that, so that to show that grace, to be like, okay, I get that. So you're not talking about. So a lot of times our offense comes from that, where it's like, what? You know what I'm saying? But like to show that grace, to be like, no, they're not seeing it the way we're seeing it. You know what I mean? I think I can't speak for all black people. Well, yeah, I can, but I think we do need to show that grace.
I think, from a white perspective, I think that's one of the problems when you try and talk to white folk, and you happen to be, like, we're in urban ministry, mm-hmm. You've been around a while, you start to get it. Yeah. And you try and talk to white folk and try and explain to them why this is a problem. Mm-hmm. And they come from American individualism is the dominant worldview of Caucasian evangelicals. So they can't even, they don't understand, and then they're angry, and then I'm angry, and then it's nasty. So.
It happened on my Facebook. Trust me. Yeah, trust me. But that's a great example, and I think that's dope that you were taking ownership in the sense that like yo, you need to understand this. But and I am in turn taking the same ownership. You know what I mean? I like I said, I go to a church where they homeschool. They not black. You know what I'm saying? Right? So I've learned a lot from my local church, you know what I'm saying? In the same way, to be like, dang, this, in some senses, I'm like, dang, I never thought life, like, my mom used to make jokes like this sometimes, because we live on a college campus in, I don't know if you guys, how many of you guys are familiar with California? So I live in Orange County, okay, so take that one for a second, right? And it's because my wife's in school, so we live on campus at UC Irvine, which is probably the most pristine city in America. Like, they don't allow homeless people. Like, you know what I mean by that? Like, I mean, the police will pick you up and drive you to Newport. Like, you're not allowed to be homeless in Irvine. Like, it's not a game, right? So, yeah, right. It is pristine, you know what I'm saying? So it was much culture shock. So I've learned a lot from being there. And my mom, when my mom came, my mom lives in D.C. now. She's from D.C., but she lives there now. She came to visit us. I took her to a taco spot on Pacific Coast Highway. So we on PCH, overlooking the ocean, just like eating, some fish tacos. And my mom was like, I sit here and I think, dang, white people been living good for years. I was like, Mom! No, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Because we don't even think of that. Like, we don't even think, just go rent an apartment at the beach. You could do that, right? Like, it's allowed. Like, these are houses, you can live in them. And I'm like, oh yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I think, that cultural exchange, you can learn that. Like, when my friends, send meals back at restaurants, I don't like this. So I'm like, you finna send it back. You finna send it back? You ordered it, right?
But I wouldn't do
so
that.
you're not going to have to pay for this? Like, they just going to make you another meal. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, dang, we could learn from white people. Anyway, so that's that. Give me some more. You have to go back.
Do the lives of black men matter in America?
So the bigger issue of black male life, right? When you talk about again, because of my field of research, my socio-cultural studies background, the idea of what's called now the new Jim Crow, right? Where the incarceration of black men at a larger rate, right? Getting double the amount of time for the same crime of someone of another ethnicity, right? Like this junk's happening. You know what I mean? So the value of Trayvon's life, does that even matter? You know what I'm saying? Right? Which is why I think it was difficult again for other people to say that Zimmerman's not white. Like, he's not a white dude. Like, why are you guys making this black or white? Well, it's like, no, we're making it black. You know what I'm saying? Right? It's not black and white. It's black. Like that dude's black. You know what I'm saying? But that breakdown, right? That breakdown, okay, the bigger picture of does our system, for lack of a better term, value black American male life? Mm-hmm. Give me another one.
Protecting your children. I had a lot of people that I saw on Facebook and Twitter, a lot of moms that were texting their young sons or even some of their daughters about okay, now what do I tell my children when they're walking down the street if they're perceived as a threat? What do I tell them? How do they protect themselves? How does this change how I parent or how I teach my kids to present themselves?
Present parental rights, on both sides. Because, I was kind of moved when I saw George Zimmerman's father. I was kind of moved when I saw that. You know what I'm saying? And him talking about his son. At the end of the day, man, everybody's somebody's baby. You know what I mean? So yeah, what do you tell your children? I tell you a quick story, and I'm pretty sure any of you hood dudes can relate. There was one thing I knew. I don't care what neighborhood you in, affluent or the projects. There's one thing you don't do. You do not walk through somebody's backyard. You know what I'm saying? You're at 11 o'clock at night. I don't care where you from. You know what I'm saying? You don't walk through nobody's backyard like that. Hoodie up. You got your headphones in? Bruh, you don't walk through nobody's neighborhood like that. I know my own father would be like, hey, who are you? You know what I'm saying? Right? So you just don't. But at the same time, I mean, like you said, what do I tell my son? Like, so he ain't got the right to listen to music? You know what I'm saying? Right? So yeah, it sets up a particular moral dilemma, right? What do I say here? What do I say to my kids? What's allowed? Do I tell my son, man, I just don't like you dressing like that because of blah blah blah? I mean, who did go through that? Who mama didn't tell them to pull their pants up? You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't stop you. For me though, it was more like, again, I live in LA. It wasn't the neighborhood. It was the police. If y'all familiar with Los Angeles, our police are legendary. Anyway, so give me some more. That was a good one. Give me some more.
State law.
State law. That's another thing, the state versus federal, right? So the stand your ground law, period, right? If it's legal in one state, but if the Supreme Court or the judicial government finds that this ruling was just or unjust, do they have the right to come and change this? And here's the thing, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know where I stand on that, like personally. You know what I mean? The legalization of marijuana, same issue, right? Right? You got Colorado and Washington being like, yo, light it up. You know what I'm saying? Right? Right? But yet, if you do, you're still breaking a federal law. Right? So it's like, well, then what do we vote for? Right? It's the same with same-sex marriage in California. It was like, yo, no. But you can get married in California, right? Because the federal government. So it's like, well, what do we vote for, right? So I don't know, but that's a very very nuanced issue. Yeah.
I think growing up in Oregon, where it's mostly white, then living in the west side of Chicago,
yeah,
the perception of authority is completely different. When I grew up, you want to be a police officer, you're intrinsically good. On the west side of Chicago, police officers are intrinsically bad. They're going to bust you up. So authority, Zimmerman, he's intrinsically good. On the other side, he's already that.
That's a good one. The perception of authority, right? You like that? No, we weren't even talking about that, were you? Dang, I'm being nosy. Anyway, yeah, perception of authority. I think that's a very good one. I mean, because for me it started off same way. Like, you know, when you're real young, it's like, yo, it's the Long Ranger. You know what I'm saying? You come, you get a badge, like it's so cool. You know, got the sirens, and then you run into action. Oh, man, you don't find me cool, do you? Man, I mean, who can't swap stories about, you know, that? Well, some people can't, but I got a bunch of stories, you know, both ways, but majority are one way. You know what I mean? And for me, that actually led to the parent issue. Like, what do I tell my daughter? You know what I'm saying? When I'm just like, when daddy's sighing, you know what I'm saying? Just like, here we go. You know what I mean? And like, but I'm trying to teach my daughter to respect authorities, people here to see, protect you. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, you know, that badge means something. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, having to prepare her, because I mean, we live in a city where, yo, it's gonna go down. You know what I mean? So I had to prepare my daughter to be like, look, these are your rights. You know what I mean? We just recently went over that with her. Like, if you get stopped, listen, they have no right to search you. You're a minor. They need to call me. You tell them to call your parents. You know what I mean? You can't search them till I get there, right? So like stuff like that. But at the same time, with a biblical understanding, I have an allegiance to 1 Peter, where he's like, love the body, honor the ruler. You know what I'm saying? So I have an allegiance to my daughter to be like, no, you're serving the Lord by submitting to authority. You know what I'm saying? Even if the authority is unjust. You know what I mean? You're serving the Lord by submitting to that, because that's who you're submitting to. You feel me? Right? But that's a very interesting dichotomy. Give me we got two more. Give me two more.
Media influence?
Yeah.
Like,
bang! That's the one I was waiting for. That's definitely the one I was waiting for, because I'm going to keep it way real with you. Look, them first pictures they was putting out of George Zimmerman and Trayvon Martin, I'm like, okay, come on now. You got Trayvon's baby picture. Like, that's not fair. Come on now. Like, you're not helping us. You know what I'm saying? Like, that boy was 17. Like, I mean, he's 11 in this picture. Like, I mean, come on, guys. Like, come on. So to his defense, that's not fair. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So yeah, that's a very good point. Like, yo, that's come on now. You ain't right. You know what I'm saying? And in my brain, I'm like, I mean, you don't even need to do that. You know what I mean? You don't need to do that. Like, situation to situation. The media influence. Give me some more issues on the media influence. Somebody talk to me a little more about that.
Just how, like, media historically has portrayed what suspicion even looks like.
Bang.
Like the Reagan administration, like when he was running,
yeah.
They showed like just his opponents and how they let go those prisoners, but they showed this one really dark brother.
Yup.
And I was like, so he let go 1,000 prisoners, and
but you gonna show me that dude,
right?
Right? Absolutely. I totally agree. And it's so funny. It's not so much what I found in my studies. It's not so much black as it is dark. I mean, of any people group, like the dark one is bad. You know what I'm saying? Right? I mean, heck, watch a Disney movie. The villain's dark. You know what I'm saying? Even in Snow White. Princess and the Frog. Even in Snow White. The witch got black hair. Maybe white lady, she got black hair. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, the villain is dark. I don't know. Media, right? Or the other side, the sensationalization. Is that a word?
Yes, it is.
Did I get it out? Was that it? Right? You can pump some fuel into a issue. You know what I'm saying? Right? And make that somehow or another like a generational champion. I thought for a while, and this was maybe it's because I was on the West Coast, I thought Oscar Grant was gonna be that. Y'all hip to the Oscar Grant case? Okay, that's my point. You know what I'm saying, right? So I thought for a while that was gonna be the one. You know what I mean? But I mean, from a historian perspective, it seems like every generation's got a one. You know what I'm saying? Whatever that one was. The LA riots, right?
Media influence right there.
Bang. You know what I'm saying? So you got the riots, right? Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, so just piggyback off of that, we gotta realize that the media is about making money. It's a machine. So if they can cause controversy, if they can sell more papers, if they can get more hits on their website, more viewers on their TV shows, or whatever it is, then boom, it's money for them. So like
still a business.
Just what you said about the two kinds of pictures, the front page of the paper in Tampa the next day, it said not guilty. It had a picture of a woman that they caught outside the courthouse, a black woman crying, tears in her eyes, and they had right next to her a picture of George Zimmerman smiling.
Yeah.
And so it was like this emotion to fuel everybody to be like,
yeah.
And just like Rolling Stones' new cover that just came out, that everybody's beefing about.
Yep.
The bomber on it.
Yep.
You know, that kind of stuff.
Yep. Wonderful. Give me one more. What's my time like? Are you keeping time? Okay.
It's like witness reliability based on saying education, speech, whatever.
Here's what's funny about that. I am such a science nerd. Like, it's not a game how much of a science nerd I am. Like, now when I say that, I'm about to prove something to you. Watch this. Cat, in my newsstand, tell me what magazine I subscribe to. Astronomy Today. I am a science nerd. You understand what I'm saying? Right? I like all that stuff. I like brain science. I like neurology. I like geology. I like all this stuff. I can tell you I can tell you the name of the ocean that used to be in the middle of America. That the Great Plains is actually an ocean bed. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why it's so flat. It used to be water. Like, I'm a nerd. You understand what I'm trying to say? Nerd. Like, I know stuff like that. Yellowstone is a volcano. It's a volcano. Did you guys know that? Like, there's a volcano in the middle of America. Like, it's a volcano. I know stuff like that. Right? Absolute science nerd. Anyway, so with that, I've actually ordered the Nat Geo series called Brain Games. I've ordered it, okay? Because I'm a nerd, right? And in that, they have one about memory and eyewitness credibility. It was my favorite one because they totally, experiment after experiment, completely debunked the reliability of an eyewitness, right? Because we remember things how we want to remember them. Like, our brain fills in the dots, right? We fill in the holes to make a story make sense. Our brains are always doing short. And you learn a lot about what's called cognition and metacognition when you go to school to be a teacher, right? So I was already into it, and I already understood a lot of it as far as like when you're teaching how to take something from a short-term memory to a long-term memory, what to do, idea of accessing prior knowledge, where you tie a new piece of information to a piece of old information. That way the new piece of information always stays with you because it's tied to the old piece of information. Like, I know stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So I was already into this, right? So for them, so when she was saying that, I was like, dang, you are right? Because you finished the story. So, but if you finish the story wrong, somebody going to jail. You know what I'm saying? Right? Now, I don't think we've invented a better system except for like surveillance cameras, but who trying to have surveillance cameras everywhere they go? You know what I'm saying? Like, come on now. Huh? That's say word, right? And he can't even leave the Russian airport. Actually, he just left. I just got the alert today. I'll tell you, I'm a nerd. I follow that stuff, man. So eyewitness credibility, like, you bring, like, everything, nothing happens in a vacuum. Like, you bring your history, your cultural context to whatever you're seeing. You know what I'm saying? And you gotta make sense of that. I'll give you a perfect example. What color shirt was Brian Dyes wearing today when he was preaching?
Blue.
You sure?
It was red.
It was great.
Bang! You see that? Blue, red. It was gray, right? Our memories, they not reliable. You see what I'm trying to say? Right?
Wait, was it gray?
I don't remember. I'm okay with that. I thought it was white. You know what I'm saying? Right? I'm okay with that because, like, but I remember he was standing to the, if you're on the stage, I know he was standing to the right.
Our right.
Yeah, our right, his left of the cipher, you know what I'm saying? I know that much. I know the cipher had a button-up shirt on.
White.
See, that's the white shirt. You see what I'm saying? Like, I was like, somebody was wearing a white shirt. I don't remember.
It was blue.
I don't remember. You know what I'm saying? Right? That's what I'm trying to say. So
would I be reliable?
So, huh?
Would I be reliable?
I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. So you get a room full of 12 people that saw the same event. They may have 12 different stories. You know what I'm saying?
Let alone the influence of authority figures.
Let alone what they already...
There's all kinds of studies, about just listening to you. There's all kinds of, like, psychology studies have been done. Just listening to you question what shirt Brian Dye was wearing. We all think twice, even though the majority of the room said blue. So we said, well, props up there saying, I don't remember, so maybe...
Yeah, so you immediately question it. Exactly. Way to know that. Yeah, absolutely, because I was really like, you guys all, actually, you threw me off.
There he is, blue.
But how many of y'all really was like, wait. Perfect timing, dog.
Your shirt is blue.
Yeah.
Just so you know. Blue shirt.
He made us credible.
Were you wearing it down on stage today? Some of y'all nailed it. Good job. Some of you didn't nail it. Let's just hope that you that nailed it would be on my jury. You know what I'm saying? Right? So point being that that's something that like we can't necessarily rely on, but at the same time, hey, it's the best system we got. You know what I mean? So look, so you guys have taken one issue and you've put 9 separate issues on this board, right? And all of these issues have baggage, right? And all of these issues may be tied to a particular sphere of identity. And some may overlap, some may not, right? And again, I don't know where you fall. When you look in the scriptures, I mean, you tell me. When you look in the scriptures, when you look at the model and the example of Jesus and the words that the Father gave the prophets and our apostles, and just when you look at these things with those lenses, and then look at each of these issues, right? Paul's saying, right? I could have the, wisdom of the ages, like speak 1,000 tongues, but if I have not love, you know what I'm saying? Like, so if you can look at this from the eyes of love, of an unconditional love, of a father that would, send his own son, right? For people that are always going to rebel, to look at these things and say, what is my response as a believer? You know what I mean? That may or may not participate in any of these other spheres. You know what I'm saying? What can I say to that? How shall I respond? Where can I stand? And sometimes this will really bake your noodles. Sometimes the bill or the law or the thing that you're voting at doesn't address where you actually land. And if that's the case, I don't know what you should do. Do you abstain? Do you just decide not to participate? Do you pick one that's closest? Do you say, well, because it doesn't address what I really want, I'm just going to vote against it? Like, I don't know. But if you're doing your diligence as believers, right, to see yourself as members of multiple spheres, and knowing that this is where the Father puts you, and you're looking in your scriptures and growing, hey, prayerfully we'll have a bigger voice in the culture. You know what I mean? But not so much what is kind of decided for us to be a voice. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense, guys? Word. All right. Hey, thank you for your time, guys. This was fun. I'm glad you guys did this. He's got those things that I'm going to act like I'm not going to see. No, I'm just kidding. I don't get to see. But thanks for coming, y'all. I hope this was helpful. Anybody got any questions at all? What? Forgot to ask that.
What'd you teach?
Social sciences. Could you tell?
Well, or sciences.
Yeah, or
I didn't know which.
Okay, social sciences. What's your name?